I think you know why you clicked on this video. You've presumably already seen me discuss the top 10 bestest songs of the years 2000 to 2012, and now you want to know what I think the top 10 best hit songs of 2013 are, and that's what I'm here to talk about. Before I get into the list though, there's something important I want to mention. 2013 was a significant year for the Billboard charts. This was the year that one of the most controversial changes happened in terms of tabulating the top 100 songs every week. YouTube was officially incorporated into the Hot 100. As I discussed in the previous video in this series, YouTube was definitely becoming a factor that was popular in the early 2010s. Vevo was at its height, being the primary way that most people were listening to music and watching music videos, and by this time, there were already several viral hits. Songs that only became popular due to going viral on YouTube. And while some viral hits unfortunately became popular due to being widely panned, like Rebecca Black's Friday, some of them went viral due to their music videos blowing up, like in the case of Psy's Gangnam Style. And in the case of the very first song to hit number 1 on the Hot 100 after this change was implemented, it went viral due to being part of a meme. Suffice to say, this was certainly a contentious change. There were a lot of people who were very unhappy with this change, arguing this had ruined the Billboard charts and had opened up the floodgates for amateur talentless hacks to have the crappy songs be popular, etc. And there certainly have been some negative effects from this change. Streaming is a dominant way that people consume music nowadays over the radio or buying songs on iTunes. And well, because streaming is merely playing music as opposed to merely buying it or hearing it on the radio, that certainly has caused some songs to overstay their welcome in the Hot 100. Nowadays, there are songs that stay on the Hot 100 for well over a year and are still in the top 10 many months after reaching their peak, but still stick around. And while that didn't immediately start happening in February 2013 when this change was implemented, it was the first domino that eventually led to that. There are certainly other factors in this too, like the COVID pandemic making people listen to music online a lot more due to being stuck at home and not being able to go out. But yeah, this change has certainly had widespread repercussions that continue on to this day. While people have seemingly now come to accept streaming as part of Billboard's tabulation of the Hot 100, this change has certainly never been without its controversies. Now let's talk about something that will hopefully be less controversial, assuming you don't think any of my picks are hot takes. The 10 songs that debut on the 2013 year-end Hot 100 list that I thought were the best. Reminders as always that any songs that didn't make the 2013 year-end list, plus these 11 songs that already made the 2012 list, are disqualified. Go watch my previous best and worst hit songs list, especially those in the top 10 best songs of 2019 series, to avoid any spoilers for songs I talked about there. I will not be doing a top 10 worst hit songs of 2013 video, but here are the songs that would be on that list if you were curious. And lastly, this list is just my opinion. Please don't get upset at me by ordering or picks aren't the same as yours. Feel free to tell me in the comments what your favorite hit songs of 2013 are. Okay, with all that out of the way, let's get into my picks for the top 10 best hit songs of 2013. This is the second year in a row that the number 10 best hit song of the year was also the best country hit of the year. And it's a song by 3 country artists, all of whom I've already talked about in the series. It's my 4th time talking about Tim McGraw's song in the series, 6th time for Taylor Swift, and 4th time for Keith Urban. And yeah, all 3 of these artists have definitely released way better songs, especially the last 2 Tim McGraw songs I've talked about. But don't think me saying that, or the fact that this is at the bottom of this list, means I don't like Highway Don't Care. I did say it was the best country song to make the 2013 year-end list. The electric guitar, pianos, and drum beat give it a mid-tempo mezzo sound. It makes it feel relatively chill, but also not boring. The crescendo on the chorus and the electric guitar solo on the bridge makes it feel louder, but not explosive. And the pedal steel we hear in the chorus gives a slight feeling of loneliness. The instrumentation gives me the impression of someone silently driving in their car down a dirt road as the sun is setting, with heavy thoughts weighing on their mind. And given this is a post-breakup song about predicting how your ex is feeling as they speed down the highway, that's very fitting. The song mentions how they're probably driving way too fast with the window rolled down, trying not to think about their failed relationship. They turn on the radio only to hear a song that reminds them of the relationship, and they reluctantly sing along. They have a dead cell phone and are trying not to think about calling you. They're also considering turning around and are trying to bottle up their emotions. No matter what they do, they can't completely run away, or drive away I should say, from how they really feel. Sure, it's all speculative, but the emotion is still resonant. The highway they're driving down doesn't care about them, but you do. I also like how Taylor Swift is used on this song. Instead of singing the second verse and background vocals from the second chorus on, like most songs that feature another artist, she's on the pre-chorus and bridge singing the I Can't Live Without You song. Having a different voice specifically sing the in-story song not only provides some great juxtaposition between McGraw's male voice and Swift's female voice, but also really adds to the narrative, as if she's a singer on the radio. Not sure why Keith Urban has a featuring credit here too, given that he only plays the guitar, but whatever. It's a really well-written and pleasant song, and one that I definitely care about. I don't think I've seen this song on any other best hit songs of 2013 lists. Well, time to rectify that. I said in the best of 2010 video that Ryan Solo wasn't Jason Derulo's best hit song. That title goes to his 2013 hit The Other Side. Jason Derulo's music has always been a mixed bag of quality, and he has made a handful of real duds, but I'm happy to say The Other Side is not only one of his good songs, but is also the best song I've ever heard from him. It's a really sweet electropop love song thanks to the bright electric guitar line, head-bobbing beat, and lyrics. Derulo sings to his partner about how he initially didn't think the person he ended up being with forever would be them, back when they were simply taking photos together in the photo booth. But over time, they kept getting closer, and Derulo's partner kept coming over to talk all afternoon. And tonight, they're partying and drinking together, and Derulo's partner whispers to him, "We're going all the way." They're taking him to the other side, and seeing that sexy look in their eyes makes him realize that they're not just friends anymore. Walking down this road will make them lovers for sure. And despite his partner feeling nervous, Derulo knows that they won't know this is a perfect relationship unless they give it a try, and you can tell that both of them really want to. It's a song that perfectly captures that feeling of being in love and knowing that you found the person you're meant to be with for the rest of your life. The electric guitar heard throughout the song starts off relatively soft, giving that feeling of loving your partner, but it hits a real explosion when that chorus hits. And I'm not just saying that due to the line in the chorus, "Sparks fly like the 4th of July." It perfectly captures that feeling of going all the way together and holding hands as you both look to your future. It takes a massive leap in volume, fitting thematically with the couple taking a massive leap in their relationship. It just makes you want to dance around with a smile on your face, fitting with the emotions the couple now feel as they become more than friends. The lyrics thankfully never sound too cliche, and the chanting "oh" vocals we hear in the bridge and coda also help make the song feel larger than life. It's just an exhilarating song all around, and one that I really feel like deserves more appreciation. Call it a generic electropop song all you want, but it's one that I can't help but love, just like how Derulo and his partner feel a newfound sense of love for each other. Great song. Even though the club boom was well and truly dead by 2013, that doesn't mean the clubs didn't have EDM bangers to play. In fact, in between all the indie pop and the rise of trap music, we did get a handful of EDM songs to be hits in 2013 that wouldn't feel too out of place in the 2010-2011 club boom, including this song, Clarity. Now, unlike most of the club boom hits, Clarity isn't super upbeat and danceable through and through. In fact, it actually starts very reserved with a soft electric guitar and Foxes giving a soulful vocal performance. With some tweaks, it honestly feels like a song that could be a slow, emotional ballad. But as the song builds up to the drop, Foxes starts belting more, and the song slowly starts getting louder, and the percussive beat slowly gets louder, signifying that the EDM drop is right around the corner, which finally happens accompanied by hey vocals and a wash of electronic synths. Despite the song never changing tempo and having the same BPM throughout, the drop sounds more upbeat than the build-up, which in turn sounds more upbeat than the verses, which is something most people who don't have an ear for analyzing music probably won't notice. It's definitely not the only EDM song to sound like this. In fact, this song actually reminds me a bit of This Is What It Feels Like by Armin van Buuren featuring Trevor Guthrie, another EDM song that became popular in 2013. That drop just sounds awesome, and it's such a contrast of energy. I may not love it as much as the best hits come out of the club boom, but it's still a delight to hear. It's still my favorite song from Zedd. I'll be talking about that in a future video in this series, but he still knows how to make an EDM song slap. But I'd argue the real star of this song is Foxes, who is an absolutely incredible singer. Like I said, she's a very soulful vocalist, and her high notes on the build-up are impressive. And I think for a song about a relationship that's not working, but the two people refuse to break up and decide to go down together, I think the song needed a singer who can sound very emotional. Even though their love is tragedy and insanity, she still feels like the other person is a remedy and her clarity. You can see the quieter verses as they're examining the relationship and considering walking out the door, but the drop is her giving in, refusing to leave, and making love to and her fighting with her partner. One thing's certainly clear to me, this song is my clarity, and one that I'm happy to call one of the best hits of the year.
Oh, I swear you're giving me a heart attack, troublemaker.
Here's a real funky track. Olly Murs is a singer who's definitely a lot more well-known in his home country, the UK, than on this side of the Atlantic. This song actually number 1 in his home country, but it only peaked number 25 in the USA. Not nearly as successful, but that was high enough for it to be his highest charting song in America and his only hit stateside. I guess maybe the featured artist being American and a familiar name to American pop listeners helped its success in the States. But Olly Murs is a real star of this song as he hops on this disco pop/funk song that reminds me of Crazy All My Life by Daniel Powter. The funky guitars and light strings have an irresistible groove to them, only matched by the melody, which might just be the catchiest of any song on the 2013 year-end list. Olly Murs definitely fits on a more throwbackish sound, as he already proved back in 2011 with Dance With Me Tonight, which unfortunately only made it to the bubbling under in America. And he's got a real groove to his voice, as he sings about a girl who's a bit more on the dangerous side. She's got him hooked, and even though he knows that she's no good, she's stuck in his brain. His mind tells him to run as fast as he can, but she keeps pulling him back, and he can't resist her irresistible charm. She's nothing but a troublemaker. He even says that troublemaker is her middle name, but he can't stop swooning over her anyway. It's certainly not the only song to be about loving someone who's been on the wild side and who you know is no good for you, but just sounds so awesome. When the song sounds this upbeat and fun, it's certainly understandable why our narrator just can't resist her. How can you not want to dance when the song is just so upbeat? It certainly makes me want to get out of my seat and start moving my body to the rhythm. Suffice to say, Olly Murs isn't the only one hooked here, and Flo Rida also delivers a decent rap verse on the bridge. In fact, I think this is Flo Rida's best hit song. His music does lean more towards pop rap than straight up hip hop, so I think it makes more sense having him be the featured rapper than someone like Drake or 2 Chainz. Again though, Olly Murs is a real star here. Shame this was Olly Murs' only hit in America. I would have liked to see the aforementioned Dance With Me Tonight or 2014's Up with Demi Lovato be hits in America too, but his only hit in the USA was still great. Really fun song.
So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older.
Hey look, another EDM song. Though unlike Clarity, this song isn't a pure EDM track. I mean, that drop can definitely also get your adrenaline pumping in the club, but this song also leans more to folk than most EDM, with a prominent acoustic guitar melody heard throughout the song. It gives the song almost a country sound to it. I do sort of get Cotton Eye Joe vibes from it, but it's not fully leading into that sound. We also have uncredited vocals from Aloe Blacc, who also brings an element of soul to this song. I just made the comparison to Cotton Eye Joe, but I can also see comparisons to Shaboozey as well, given this is a country-adjacent song sung by a black singer with a similar voice to Shaboozey. The folktronica sound is really awesome, even if it's not quite my favorite folktronica song to be a hit. And of course, the late Avicii's production certainly makes the song sound upbeat. The drum beat on the pre-chorus helps build to that post-chorus and an epic, uplifting drop. It's not the same kind of adrenaline-pumping feeling you get from the club boom hits from a few years before, but it sounds just as catchy and great. Heck, I dare say this song is better than the best of the club boom hits. The drop has this massive, soaring feeling to it that just makes you feel weightless. It's as if it's meant to make you feel inspired and either accompany you on your journey or celebrate the conclusion of your journey. I mean, Aloe Blacc does say on the first verse, "I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start." He sings about how life will pass him by if he doesn't open up his eyes, but that's fine by him. He tried carrying the weight of the world, but he only has two hands. Life is a game made for everyone, and everyone says he's too young to understand. So as he closes his eyes, he asks to be woken up when he's wiser and older. All this time, he was trying to find himself, but he was never lost in the first place. It's not a Carpe Diem message exactly, although I could see it being rewritten to fit that. Rather, it's a song about not getting too ahead of yourself and enjoying life as it currently is. Don't feel pressured in trying to figure out your entire life at this very instant. You're still young, and you can wait till you've grown up a little. All the song's elements come together tremendously, and I don't think the song would have worked nearly as well if it had been sung by someone besides Aloe Blacc, or if it didn't have that acoustic guitar or soaring drop. Absolutely phenomenal track, and rest in peace, Avicii.
So no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars.
Man, I can't believe I haven't talked about a One Republic song in one of my best hits songs list yet. Well, none of their hits in any of the years I've covered were quite good enough to be among the best hits of the year. But now, we get to their first hit that does fit that criteria, and it's hands down their best hit song. Like the previous song on this list, Counting Stars is a folk-tinged song that also feels a bit more meaningful than the average pop song. It's a song about pondering life and trying to figure out what the best way to spend it is. There is some parallel here to Some Nights by Fun, though it's definitely not the same song as that one. The first verse talks about how you see your life like a swinging vine, and how there's flashing signs, likely metaphorical, in front of you. You don't think the world is stolen just doing what you're told to do. You're not that old, but you're not that bold either. You feel something wrong by doing the right thing, and vice versa. Everything that kills you makes you feel alive. And the second verse talks about feeling your partner's love, you feel through every turn, and how everything that drowns you makes you want to fly. And on the chorus, it talks about how you're awake at night, thinking about everything you and your partner could be. There's a lot you want to accomplish, but you're stressed and not sure how to make your dreams come true. But you've been praying hard, and decide that instead of counting dollars, you'll be counting stars. Instead of focusing so much on your income and worrying about making ends meet, you just want to spend some time doing what you want to do. On the bridge, it mentions taking your money, watching it burn, blowing your money, and throwing away the lessons you've learned. Even though living like an adult and managing your finances is a responsible adult thing to do, it just doesn't feel right. And shirking that responsibility, doing the wrong thing, is what you'd really rather do. Yeah, I think most adults would rather spend all their time doing enjoyable activities or just being with their loved ones instead of working, even if working is what you need to do to keep food on the table. As a guy in his 20s, I definitely relate to that feeling, and the upbeat foot-tapping melody with the guitars and drums really make the song sound fun, as does the hand-clapping breakdown on the bridge. Ryan Tedder may not be the most expressive singer, but he still gives a good vocal performance, and the harmonies and group vocals behind him sound great too. Fantastic song.
The words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be brave.
This is a song that I knew, before even listening through the year-end list, was going to be high up in the ranking. This was Sara Bareilles' third and final hit song, and it's hands down her best, even better than King of Anything, which I talked about in the 2010 video. Like that song, Brave has a bit of an adult contemporary flavor to it, though maybe not quite as prominent here as it was there. It's not quite as jazzy as that song, but it still sounds nice. The piano and soulful vocals, which remind me quite a bit of Gavin DeGraw's Not Over You, the number 4 best hit song of 2013, do sound a bit better than the instrumentation of Bareilles' previous hit, plus the melody is definitely much stickier, and one that I'm much more likely to remember and want to play. But you know what else is better here than on King of Anything? The lyrics. Given the song is called Brave, I think you can probably guess what the song's message is. It's a song about telling someone that they should speak their minds, say what they want to say and speak out. You want to see them be brave. They could be the outcast or backlash of someone's lack of love, or they can start speaking up. Everyone's been stared down by the enemy and felt like bowing down to the mighty, but they should stop holding their tongue. Maybe they can one day break free from this cage they're trapped in and let the light in. Their history of silence won't do them any good, so speak the truth. Don't Don't let your words be empty. Say how you honestly feel. Say what you need to say. It's written in a way that can be universal for anyone who's struggling to say what's on their mind, whether it's being bullied, or being in the closet, or standing up to oppressive forces. Heck, you could see the song as sort of a spiritual successor to King of Anything, given that it was a song about not heeding someone's opinions about you. Maybe this is the song the protagonist of that song needs to hear in order to say what she needs to say back to the other person. You could interpret the song as being sung from one person to another to give them advice, or maybe the song is what someone else is thinking to themselves to try and motivate themselves to stand up and voice how they feel. Either way, it's very uplifting, and sure to inspire someone who wants to voice themselves but is too afraid to. Suffice to say, Sarah Bareilles really knocked it out of the park with this gem of a song. Now let's talk about another really great motivational song about standing up and expressing yourself how you want.
Catching my breath, letting it go, turning my cheek for the sake of the show.
Oh boy, I'm excited to talk about this one. I've talked about 6 Kelly Clarkson songs already in the series, and I did promise I would get to her best hit song eventually. Well, here's that song. Catch My Breath showcases Clarkson at her absolute best, as she gives off the best vocal performance she's ever had. There's a reason she won American Idol back in 2002, and this song reinforces her incredible talent. She starts off singing with a relatively soft voice in the first verse, but when the chorus comes, she goes into her upper register and hits the highest notes I've ever heard her sing. There's a real passion to her voice as she sings a self-empowerment anthem. Catch My Breath is a song about not letting others hold you back and living your life how you want. Clarkson sings A Distance was once a friend of hers, but she doesn't want to be left behind. She spent most of her life catching her breath and turning her cheek, but now she's standing up and letting the world know this is her life and she won't be told what's supposed to be right. No one can hold her back or get her down. It could be interpreted as a simple self-empowerment anthem, but as Clarkson sings the second verse, it turns more to a love song. She sings that she's addicted to the love she found, her heavy heart is now a weightless cloud, and is making time for the ones that count. And on the bridge, she sings that someone, perhaps her partner, helped her see the beauty in everything. Maybe it was a partner that gave her this new perspective and helped her build the confidence to not let anyone or anything get her down. And those lines on the first verse about not wanting to be left behind and how distance was once a friend of hers take on a new meaning when you consider this love song interpretation. She seemed to be describing her life before she met her partner on the first verse. Every single note Clarkson sings in the chorus has a real punch to it as she lets out her feelings and is no longer afraid to stand up and voice, no pun intended, how she feels inside. You can tell it's coming from a deep sense of passion in her deep down. There are some other Kelly Clarkson songs where you can argue she's genuinely singing passionately and from a place of emotion, but nowhere is it more poignant than on here. Both her voice and the interpretation know when to sound soft and impactful when they need to, and that juxtaposition really helps make that crescendo hit hard. It's got almost a power ballad sound to it, while still not being out of place from a typical pop song of this time. It's definitely a song that makes me catch my breath with how great it is.
The truth may not be this, shit will carry on, body set to show.
And now here's the critically acclaimed hit song of the year that makes virtually everyone's best hit songs of the year list, and one that I'd be remiss not to include. I know this song is even a few people's #1 best hit song of 2013. And well, it's not quite #1 on mine, but it is a solid second place. This was another song that was riding off the huge success of indie pop / rock during 2012 and 2013. And honestly, I think this is the best hit song to come out of this trend. Yes, it's even better than Some Nights by Fun. Little Talks is a song by Icelandic rock band Of Monsters and Men, and the only song from this previously virtually unknown band to chart on the Hot 100. But for their only song to be a hit, man was it an amazing one. The slower guitar strumming on the verses, the building drum beat hitting that crescendo on the chorus, the prominent horns, the hey vocals on the chorus, it just sounds absolutely awesome. It knows how to sound both soft and lonely, yet also upbeat and lively at different parts, but these opposite sounds never clash with each other. I also like how the song has 2 vocalists, one male, one female, and like Highway Don't Care, it doesn't relegate one to the second verse and or bridge like on most pop songs. Both singers, whose names I'm not going to try to pronounce since I don't speak Icelandic, trade lines on the verses before singing the final line of the verses, as well as the chorus and bridge in unison. And as we get to the lyrics, it's a very poetic song, with the woman saying how she doesn't like walking around an old and empty house, but the man is trying to comfort her. There are a few lines that suggest that one of them is deceased, like, we used to play outside when we were young and full of life and full of love, or, you're gone, gone, gone away, I watch you disappear, all that's left is a ghost of you, or, now we're torn, torn, torn apart, there's nothing we can do, just let me go, we'll meet again soon. Perhaps the woman is visiting the old house she used to live in, and memories are coming back to her. Perhaps the man's spirit is still inhabiting the house, or she's hallucinating his presence. The man does say, your mind is playing tricks on you, my dear, on the second verse. It's not even clear if the man and woman can even hear each other, and one of them is just talking to the wind. The song feels very atmospheric, but not in a spooky way. The song even ending with the sounds of a breeze and slight creaking only further adds to the atmosphere. It's no wonder why so many people love this song, including myself, even if there was another song on the 2013 year list that I liked just a bit more. But before I tell you about that song, let me discuss a few honorable mentions first.
So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel.
This is the second best hit country song of 2013 after Highway Don't Care, and one that just missed my top 10. In this song, Hootie and the Blowfish frontman Darius Rucker gives us a jaunty country song about heading down south to Raleigh to be with his lover. I like the banjos and fiddles, which make the song sound more organically country and give you the feeling of heading to the southern USA. Also, Rucker has a pretty likable presence here. It's not my favorite song I've heard from him, but it's still a very good country ditty. I also like how the female backup vocalist sings separately from Rucker toward the end, representing how he's finally reunited with his lover. Great song that unfortunately just missed this list.
Don't you worry, child. See, heaven's got a plan for you.
Just like Wake Me Up, here's another EDM track with a soulful singer, an epic drop, and some really potent lyrics. Don't You Worry Child is a song about reminiscing on your carefree childhood and some important events that happened back then. These include meeting your first crush and thinking you'll end up with her, but ultimately falling out of touch with her, and remembering where you had your first heartbreak, but being assured by your father that heaven has a plan for you and you shouldn't worry. It's a very powerful song. By the way, this was originally Swedish House Mafia's last song before they broke up, and although they did eventually get back together, this was still a fantastic swan song for them. Great work.
It's where my demons hide. It's where my demons hide.
Imagine Dragons had two songs debut in the 2013 year-end list, and although Radioactive seems to be the more well-remembered song, I think Demons is the better of the two. The slower tempo and heavy drums fit a song about telling someone about your inner demons and how they shouldn't get too attached to you. It could be a song about warning a potential partner about your dark side, or, fitting with the line in the first verse, and the ones we hail are the worst of all, it could be a song about telling people not to idolize public figures, or people who seem to be upstanding but are secretly horrible people deep down. And Dan Reynolds' voice, the harmonization, and crescendo in the chorus really make it hit hard. Ariana Grande's breakout song. It may not be the best song I've ever heard from her, and I will be talking about some even better songs by her in some future videos in this series, but The Way is still a bouncy piece of R&B, soul, and hip-hop, where Grande shows off her beautiful cooing voice, very reminiscent of Mariah Carey, including her whistle register. And for a love song about how you love the way your partner makes you feel, I like the fact that Grande's then boyfriend, the late Mac Miller, appears on the song. This was a really good first impression of her music, outside of the songs she sung as Cat Valentine and Victorious. Really pleasant song, and easily the best R&B hit of 2013. Oh, and rest in peace, Mac Miller. Ollie Murs may be able to ride a throwback groove really well, but he's no match for Bruno Mars in that regard. I wouldn't quite call Treasure Mars' best hit song given the competition, and I will be talking about at least one more song of his down the line this series that's even better, but damn, this is such a funky track. And unlike the aforementioned Troublemaker, this song definitely feels like it's trying to sound retro, as if it's a song straight out of the 70s, not just a song inspired by the 70s. The guitars, synths, and twinkling sounds are fantastic, and Mars definitely has a cadence similar to Michael Jackson. I could totally see the Jackson 5 performing this song in their heyday. It's definitely a treasure. Okay, that's 5 honorable mentions down. Now let's move on to the ineligible honorable mentions. Songs that didn't make the 2013 year-end list, either because they didn't chart high enough to be hits, or sadly didn't chart at all, at least not in the USA, but are still really good songs that should have been hits, and that I'd like to shine a light on. Let me talk about 5 of these. Here's another ineligible honorable mention in the songs by Canadian artists that were pretty much only popular in Canada category. Walk Off the Earth, probably best known for their 2012 cover of Go Chase Somebody That I Used to Know, had a few more charting songs in Canada after that cover, and Red Hands was their highest charting song in their home country and even made it to Bubbling Under in the USA. Riding along the wave of indie pop in this time, Red Hands is a nice song with its guitars, echoey drums and vocals, and lyrics about admitting fault in a relationship this time to please your partner, but also that you're not the only one who's done wrong. Really wish this had been a hit in America.
I don't wanna kiss goodnight. I just wanna stay here forever.
And here's another Canadian song that didn't become a hit outside of Canada, and by another artist I've already discussed another song by in my Canadian songs video from 2022. Kiss Goodnight is an upbeat song about staying up all night with your partner, knowing that you'll have to leave in the morning, and wanting to make the most out of your final night with them. It's a really sweet song that showcases how much you love your partner, and how you don't want to spend your last few hours with them sleeping, because you'd rather be awake to see their beautiful face. Perhaps you're leaving for a trip tomorrow, or moving away altogether. Either way, it's a really pleasant song that I wish more Americans had heard.
In a world like this, with some back down, I know we're gonna make it.
For this ineligible honorable mention slot, it was a toss-up between either this song or another boy band song, Carry You by Union J, but I decided to go with In a World Like This by the Backstreet Boys. I got a feeling my friend Halston Word is gonna love me for this. Shout out to Halston if you're watching this. I love the melody, the electric guitar, vocal performances from the boys, and the lyrics about how you know you and your partner are gonna make it, and how you've got them, even in a world where some back down, and nothing comes with the heart anymore. It's upbeat, perseverant, and fits the Backstreet Boys' sound, while at the same time, sounding unique enough to stand out. I need a song like this.
You make me wanna make a new dance. You make me wanna dance.
in addition to gentle acoustic ballads and summer night feeling songs, another type of song I have a soft spot for are songs that sound like summery beach songs, like S Club 7's Bring It All Back, Headley's Never Too Late, or Hey Ocean's Make a New Dance Up. The upbeat, warm guitars sound great and makes me think of being on the beach on a hot, sunny day. There definitely is a tropical element to the instrumentation, and the lyrics about thinking that you never dance with another boy again, but meeting a new boy and him inspiring you to dance fit with a bright instrumentation. It's definitely a song that makes me wanna make a new dance up when I hear it, and hopefully the same is true for you.
The zone where the beat is uncontrolled. I know what it feels like. Come on, make me feel alive.
And we got another EDM song, and one with hands down the brightest melody of all the EDM songs I'm discussing in this video. The melody is incredibly catchy and fits perfectly for an electropop love song about wanting to keep a fleeting moment last forever, making the night yours, how you've been waiting for this moment all your life, and telling your partner to make you feel alive. And the echoey vocals, along with the drop, make the song sound huge, even with the auto-tune. I will admit that the intro and the outro with the drum beat are a bit too long, and I kind of wish the radio and music video version was the only version to exist, but still a very good song regardless, and one that definitely makes me feel alive. But now, let's talk about a very, very good song. A song so good, in fact, I decided that it was a #1 best hit song of 2013.
Can't change, even if I try.
Yeah, I think most of you probably predicted this would be my #1 after seeing Little Talks at #2. Most people say that the #1 bestest song of 2013 is either Little Talks or Same Love. So if it wasn't one, it was gonna be the other. This was one of 3 singles by the hip-hop duo of Macklemore and Ryan Lewis to be hits in 2013, and it's hands down the best of all 3, even though Thrift Shop and Can't Hold Us were also both contenders for this list. And while I've definitely made it clear in my worst hit songs list that I don't like most mainstream hip-hop, there are definitely exceptions. Same Love sure sounds a hell of a lot better than most hip-hop. The gentle piano and drum beat sure sound more interesting than the generic trap beat I've been hearing for the past decade. Heck, that piano, along with the horns, give the song almost a jazzy quality to it. And given the lyrical content, plus the fact that the lines are rapped instead of sung, it almost feels like a poem that we read at a poetry reading, accompanied by finger snaps. And speaking of the lyrical content, that's where the song shines even brighter. This is the second time that my #1 bestest song of the year is a conscious hip-hop song after Where's the Love by the Black Eyed Peas, which topped my 2003 list. Though this song deals with a different topical issue than Where's the Love. In this song, Macklemore unabashedly voices his support for same-sex marriage, an issue that was still relatively controversial at the time. This song was actually recorded during the campaign for Washington Referendum 74, which aimed to legalize same-sex marriage in the state, which was eventually granted after the referendum passed. Considering that Macklemore is from Washington State and his uncle is gay, you could definitely tell why he was so in favor of the referendum. Heck, the 2 men featured on the single cover for this song are Macklemore's Uncle John and his partner Sean. Throughout the song, Macklemore talks about society's perception of homosexual people. On the first verse, he talks about gay stereotypes that made him think he was gay until his mother reminded him that he's had crushes on girls, and political conservatives who think that being homosexual is a choice, that gay people can be cured, and cherry-pick verses from the Bible to justify their bigotry. And then the second verse, he talks about homophobia in the hip-hop community, something he's clearly pushing against as a rapper himself, as well as the way people use the word gay online, and how people have become numb to that. Yeah, I can confirm that up until around the mid-2010s, it was pretty common to hear people, especially online, use the word gay pejoratively, like, oh, that's so gay. You don't really hear that too often nowadays, since a lot of people have come to realize that it is offensive to use the word gay in that way, but it just goes to show how it wasn't that long ago when these prejudices and attitudes were commonplace in society. He then compares homosexual people wanting equal rights to the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s, and homophobia to hatred based on gender or skin color, arguing there is no difference between those things. He then lambasts religious homophobes who preach hate when they should be preaching love. I really like that one line, if you preach hate at the service, those words aren't anointed, that holy water you soak in has been poisoned. And on the third verse, he calls for people to keep marching for progress until his uncle can marry the man he wants, and gay kids in the school hallway can feel comfortable being themselves and not feel pressured into suicide, something which does unfortunately happen with many young gay people who are afraid of being shunned by society just because of who they love. And then we have Mary Lambert singing the chorus, who was honestly the perfect artist to choose as a featured artist, given that she's an open lesbian. She sings about how her lover keeps her warm, and how she can't change even if she tried or wanted to, pushing back against the being homosexual is a choice narrative. She would actually later release a song called She Keeps Me Warm, which reworks the chorus of Same Love and adds some new verses. I do prefer the original Same Love, but I do recommend giving She Keeps Me Warm a listen as well if you haven't heard it. Overall, it's a very powerful song. I may not be gay myself, but I can definitely see how gay people and other LGBTQ+ people can find it inspirational, knowing how it speaks to their experience, and how comforting it is knowing they have a straight ally in Macklemore. And well, it would only be another 2 years after the song became a hit that same-sex marriage will finally become legal legal nationwide, not just in the state of Washington. I don't know if this song had any impact on that, but this is yet another song I'm talking about in this series that works as a pride anthem, though this one is far more explicit in that regard than the other two songs in this category that I've spoken about. What else can I say? I think it's pretty obvious why I think this is the #1 best hit song of 2013, and I can't change that even if I tried. I definitely love Same Love. And those are the top 10 best hit songs of 2013. Thanks as always for watching, and hope you'll enjoy the top 10 best hit songs of 2014 video when that comes out. Till then.